whether it's the resolution of disapproval on the border national emergency declaration, or there's been some gun control bills that have come up. Of course, President Trump's in North Korea, or well, he was in Vietnam and walked away from a deal with North Korea. And then the other thing that, of course, has come up in the midst of all this is the Green New Deal. So we're trying to battle that cow flatulence, and we hope that we can get that tackled sometime. Actually, we've been having a lot of fun with that. If you've seen that online, because there's not much in that proposal that not only makes sense, but there's not much in that proposal that isn't mostly laughable on its face. So anyway, we'll continue to fight on that front. The other thing, though, I would mention, of course, the President did announce this week that when it comes to China, that he would not be raising the $200 billion or implementing the $200 billion on tariffs, at least for now. So that is good news. That is welcome news, and we continue to get feedback that things are going well on that front, and hopefully we can get things with China wrapped up here pretty quick, and move on from any sort of a trade war. I know that would be welcome news for our folks in North Missouri. The other thing on the trade front is the USMCA, the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement, I guess. They've come up with another acronym for it, and so we're hopeful that will be in place as soon as Congress ratifies it. We're hopeful that Congress will ratify it, for that matter, and it will do good things, certainly for our country when it comes to agriculture, and we would love to see that in place as soon as possible. In fact, the governor and Missouri Governor Parson and Ag Director Chris Chen sent a letter to the delegation and to all the folks today, emphasizing their support for that deal, and emphasizing that they need us to support it as well, which we do. So the other thing that's happened in the last couple of months, is that WOTUS, the Waters of the United States, that has, as we know it anyway, gone away, and they have put forth a new rule which we feel is much better, and so that is open for public comment right now, and so hopefully we can keep the federal government out of our streams and ditches and various dry creek beds, places that the federal government doesn't need to be. So anyway, that is open for public comment. We'd encourage you to make those comments. As far as the Congressman is concerned, he is the ranking member on Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, which means he is the top Republican on that committee now that Republicans are in the minority in the House. So he leads that committee for the minority, and so we are focused on an infrastructure bill, an infrastructure package. We hope that something will get done on that front, and that would include roads, bridges, rail, rivers, routers, your broadband aspect, rural broadband aspect. So we're hopeful to get that done, and the other thing would be working on figuring out how to fund something like that, right? Because the gas tax alone is not going to fully fund not only an infrastructure plan, but when we get to a long-term transportation plan here in a few years, long-term transportation bill, we're going to have to figure out how to fund the Highway Trust Fund, how to make it solvent, and so figuring out what those funding mechanisms are and what that looks like. So those will be topics of discussion, and I would encourage you to pay close attention to that, because that's going to be coming up here in the near future. So with that, thanks again for having me. I'm always available for questions, comments, concerns, and snide remarks, and so thank you so much for having us. And Steve Bagley usually has the snide remarks for me, and he's taken care of Marion County on that front. So.